individuals that you were in connection with maybe are too fearful to close out cycles. They sort of leave things lingering. They don't finish out what they started. They don't necessarily give anyone closure or themselves closure. If there was a situation that were to occur once or a million times, whatever the case may be, they don't necessarily do the work to end it. Connections that maybe fell apart, or things that they've done or things that they've been through, they don't necessarily want to face them or talk about them or deal with them. July 3rd and March 7th could be significant. They don't fully retreat from it, nor do they address it. So it sort of lingers in their aura, it lingers in their energy, it lingers around them, the unfinished business, the restlessness, the unhealed energy. And it does play a part in everything that they do. They won't put it down, they won't pick it up, they won't look at it. They just kind of carry it everywhere with them unwillingly. So they balance, they play this weird balancing act, and you feel that energy. You're very much so in tune with people's energies and sort of their aura and what's around them and kind of what comes with that. And as well as they think they're hiding it, they're not. You can feel that dishonesty that they have with themselves and others, with theirself and others. And you kind of can see and kind of tell that they just carry on their back a whole bunch of restless, unfinished cycles. They don't close out anything, and they don't deal with it either. It just lingers, and they just drag it with them like a boulder up a hill with flip-flops in the rain, like a mudslide, on stilts. It makes everything they do 10 times harder, a million times harder. And they won't come to terms with it. What boulder? What are you talking about? As they're sitting there carrying the fucking boulder, we all have to just act like we don't see this big boulder, but they're playing this weird balancing act where they have on a mask, or they think they do, but it's very obvious to you what's happening here. They just don't want to deal with the work. They don't want to face what they've been through, and so it just tends to be quite heavy energy around them. But you've done the work. You don't play happy, positive, optimistic all the time. You're very realistic. You do approach things in a very realistic way, and you're very honest about what's going on, and you like to say it out loud. It doesn't mean that you are negative. It doesn't mean you're dwelling on it. It doesn't mean anything like that. It means you have feelings and you're speaking on them, and it also means you're trying to work toward a resolution. Okay? Yeah, it's uncomfortable to talk about it. Okay? But you have to talk about it, because you're not going to carry it with you. You didn't do it to yourself, or you didn't do it alone. Okay? Period. If you did, you can talk about that too. Somebody's got to hear about it. Somebody's got to hear about it. They've got to come to terms with the truth the way you do. And once you release that truth, it just makes everything more comfortable for you. Other people don't necessarily like it. They don't understand why you're wearing a mink coat in the summertime. But baby, you look good. You look damn good. Once again, 2 of Cups, 2 rounds already, bottom of the deck. Lots of broken connections here. You've done the work. You've done the work. You've done the work. You've done the work. You've done the work that nobody else will do. You've talked about the things that nobody else wants to talk about. You've faced that shit. You've made eye contact with your own demons. Okay? You look that shit straight in the eyes like, look here, this is what we're gonna do. This is how I got you. This is how I'm gonna get rid of you, or I might keep you and sick you on a bitch next time I need you. But nonetheless, you're trained. You're around a whole bunch of people, or you grew up with, or you were surrounded by, involved with, connected to, a whole bunch of people that refused to decide to do the work, to do the inner healing, to change their life, to level up. They refuse to make soul level decisions. They think if they avoid it for long enough, Gemini energy on the board, they think if they avoid it for long enough that everything will be just fine. They don't want to look at it, but they're carrying it everywhere they go and expecting nobody to see it. They live in this sort of constant state of agony, and it doesn't even feel like agony anymore, because it's kind of like a dull pain, because it's just there, it just lingers. It's not attacking constantly, and it's not gone. It's just there. They don't even realize how miserable they really are. They don't realize how anxious they really are. They don't realize how unwell and unrested their minds, spirits, and souls are, because it's just who they are now, because they just don't address shit. High Priestess, you intuitively know this, that people kind of want to keep secrets, or say things that aren't necessarily true, or to cover up what they truly feel, or don't say things that are honest, or don't say the full truth. They sort of omit a lot of pieces of information. My throat chakra, as I'm saying that, you intuitively know, and you don't have to speak on everything. You feel it. You don't have to address it, because you know sometimes it's not worth addressing. But like I said, you've done the work. You have closed out these cycles. You have ended those cycles. You have done the work and finished the cycle. You completed it. You don't leave unfinished business lingering around. If there's something that needs to be addressed, you address it. You don't avoid it. It's not about confrontation. We say that people fear confrontation. This is just a conversation that needs to be had of stating the obvious so that we can move the fuck around. And that's with a lot of things. You have created a very positive future for yourself. You exude hope and positivity.